It sings like a poet, croaks, whistles, even mimics human words. Yet that same voice now echoes as the most dreaded sound in fragile forests and quiet suburbs. The myna, once our brilliant companion, now our most unwanted invader. How did a bird, praised for its intelligence and charm, become the villain of entire ecosystems? This is the story of a paradox, a tragedy written in feathers. We celebrate its survival, only to discover that its success is our undoing. The bird at the center of this paradox is the common myna, or Indian myna, known to science as a Critother's tristis. At first glance, it doesn't seem extraordinary. Roughly 23 centimeters in length, dressed in a coat of earthy brown with a black hooded head, and crowned by striking yellow eye patches and beak, it is instantly recognizable. Its body is compact, its flight strong and purposeful. Yet the most striking feature of the myna is not its plumage, but its voice. The myna sings in an eclectic chorus. It whistles, squawks, clicks, and even growls. It can mimic the cries of other birds and sometimes the tones of human speech. This playful vocal performance has fascinated people for centuries. At dusk, they gather in great communal roosts, filling the air with a cacophony of competing calls. Some hear music, others hear madness. More than its voice, the myna is marked by extraordinary intelligence. Highly opportunistic, it can feed on insects, fruit, scraps of human food, and even small vertebrates. It thrives in the busiest city as easily as in rural farmland. Its ability to adapt, to problem solve, and to seize opportunity has earned it admiration in its native range across South Asia. But as history would prove, traits that make for survival in one context can spell disaster in another. The story of the myna is not just biological, it is deeply cultural. In India, the bird has been celebrated in poetry and art. Mughal paintings from the 17th century depict noble women holding a myna as if it were a jewel. In folklore, the bird is often portrayed as a symbol of love and devotion, sometimes paired with the parrot as companions in tales of romance. Its mimicry of the human voice led to its popularity as a household pet, a conversational partner in cages and courtyards. Farmers once called it their ally, for it patrolled fields and devoured crop-destroying insects. This admiration was genuine. In many towns and villages, a pair of mynas nesting near a home was considered auspicious, a promise of prosperity. To the people of its homeland, the bird was charming, intelligent, and useful. And yet, while revered in one land, in another it would become reviled. The same mimicry that once delighted owners would become an unbearable racket to suburban households abroad. The same insect-hunting habit that made it a friend of farmers in India would become an ecological weapon against native species in Australia and the Pacific. In one place, a symbol of culture. In another, a symbol of ecological collapse. This dual identity is the very paradox that makes the myna's story both tragic and unforgettable. The tragedy truly begins not with the bird itself, but with us. In the mid-19th century, colonial settlers in far-off lands searched for solutions to agricultural crises. Crops were under siege from insects. Grapevines were threatened by caterpillars, sugarcane by beetles, and fruit orchards by swarms of pests. The settlers looked abroad for answers, and they found the myna. In 1862, mynas were introduced to Melbourne, Australia, in the hope they would control insects threatening crops. In the following decades, They were brought to Queensland and New South Wales for the same purpose. To colonial farmers, the bird seemed a clever biological control agent, self-sustaining, tireless, effective. They could not imagine what would follow. The introductions did not stop with Australia. Mynas were shipped to New Zealand, South Africa, Mauritius, Fiji, Hawaii, and dozens of Pacific islands. Sometimes they were brought in deliberately as pest controllers. Other times, they escaped from cages, released as unwanted pets. Wherever humans traveled, the myna seemed to follow. But the promise quickly soured. The mynas did eat insects, but they preferred easier meals, ripe fruit, livestock feed, discarded food in human settlements. Worse, their population grew explosively. Instead of being guardians of crops, they became raiders of orchards. Instead of controlling pests, they became pests themselves. By moving the bird across oceans, humans had unintentionally armed ecosystems with a new invader, one against which native species had no defense. The paradox was set. The bird we once carried as a solution had become the source of a far greater problem. The ecological cost of the myna's spread is staggering. Unlike many invasive species that require specialized conditions, the myna thrives almost anywhere. It flourishes in arid lands, forests, cities, and farmland. This adaptability makes it one of the most successful invasive birds on Earth. But success for the myna means tragedy for others. In Australia's capital region, scientific surveys revealed a sharp decline in small native birds after the myna arrived. The house sparrow, once common in suburban gardens, plummeted by more than 60% in areas colonized by mynas. The great tit, a cavity-nesting bird, was repeatedly driven from nest boxes. Half of all predation events recorded in those boxes were directly caused by mynas, who not only evicted the resident birds, but also killed eggs and chicks before claiming the cavities as their own. In cavity nesting competition, the myna is ruthless. Crimson rosellas and eastern rosellas, native parrots of Australia, have been documented losing breeding opportunities as mynas seize nesting holes. In areas with few trees, the impact is especially severe. In some studies, over 12% of nests were directly usurped by mynas. And the destruction does not end with competition. Mynas are notorious crop raiders, pecking at grapes, figs, mangoes, and berries. Farmers in multiple countries report thousands of dollars in losses each year due to their feeding. They also scavenge animal feed, disrupting poultry operations. Beyond economics, they are carriers of avian malaria, Newcastle disease, and other pathogens, raising concerns about their impact on both wildlife health and agriculture. Perhaps most tragic is the silence they leave behind. As myna populations rise, the songs of native birds fade. Forests once alive with varied voices grow quieter, replaced by the harsh chatter of the invader. A bird admired for its voice becomes the silencer of other voices. This is the ultimate paradox, the gift of song turned into the instrument of silence. Recognizing the scale of the crisis, communities and governments have fought back. Nowhere is this battle more visible than in Canberra, Australia, where the common myna once ranked as the third most common bird in the city. Alarmed by its dominance, local residents formed the Canberra Indian Myna Action Group in 2006. Their mission: to push the bird down from the top of the charts and give native species a fighting chance. The program pioneered humane trapping systems designed specifically for mynas. These traps allowed multiple birds to be captured at once, while safeguarding non-target species. Community members took responsibility for maintaining traps, removing captured birds, and monitoring populations. Within a decade, the results were dramatic. The myna fell from 3rd place to 24th in Canberra's bird rankings. Over 70,000 birds were removed. Native bird numbers began to rebound. Yet the fight is never over. Mynas breed quickly, up to 4 broods a year in favorable conditions, and can recolonize cleared areas with ease. Experts estimate that to truly suppress populations, culling must reach at least 25 birds per square kilometer annually. In many regions, trapping programs do not yet meet that threshold. Meanwhile, the bird continues to exploit human environments, feeding on scraps in city centers, pet food left outdoors, and open garbage bins. Other regions have adopted similar programs. In New Zealand, trapping initiatives and nest box management have helped control populations locally. In Fiji and Mauritius, government campaigns attempt to suppress numbers in vulnerable habitats. Technology has also joined the fight. Tools like the Mynascan mobile application allow communities to report sightings, track roosts, and coordinate trapping efforts across large landscapes. But the war is far from won. For every success story, there is a resurgence. The Myna is nothing if not resilient. Each control program is a reminder of the bird's adaptability and of our own responsibility. After all, it was human hands that carried the bird across oceans, and now it is human hands that must try endlessly to contain it.
And if you were as shocked and hopeful by this extraordinary story as we were, make sure to like this video, share it widely with your friends, and subscribe for more world-changing revelations about our planet's future.